Hello, welcome to something a little bit unusual for this channel. Mostly do Let's Plays, but this time I think I'm going to work on something a little bit different, bit of a side project I really want to make progress on. This is going to be a development blog. I'm looking to create a video game. I mean, over 10 years ago, I graduated from college with a game design degree, and I think it's about time I put it to use. And it's getting easier and easier to really get out there and do that. I always found it a little bit tricky because I'm not much of an artist. It's very intimidating to try and make a game without art, but I know it's doable. And I've always had trouble with motivation, so I thought maybe with this new skill I've developed with posting videos online, maybe I can work up some motivation. Some of you guys, even if a couple of you watch these videos, maybe they'll help move me along. So to get right into it here, developing a video game. I've done lots of research over the last year or so, trying to motivate myself to really get into it. There's lots of incredible resources to watch out there if you're looking to get yourself into video game development. The do's and do nots. One of the most poignant tips that I heard was out there is just to try and do a little bit every day, or even just a little bit every week. If you keep doing that, you'll eventually complete the game, or at least get to a spot that will really motivate you to continue working on the game. That's going to be kind of the goal with this dev blog. I'm going to try and make it weekly, but we'll see how it goes. But basically, I just want to be able to check in on the week, after the week, and see if I can share with some of my progress that I've had. I'll just be focusing on gameplay elements, trying to avoid any spoilers. It'll just kind of be documenting my progress through it. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, keep watching. Yeah, so the game I'm planning on working on, been trying to think of games to work on. I have a number of different ideas, but I figure starting out it's going to be best for me to start with something graphically straightforward. And one of the types of games that I know and enjoy that kind of fits this bill is a hacking simulator. So there's a number of games out there that feature this sort of gameplay. There's one in particular that I have in mind that I want to be a spiritual successor, and that one's called Uplink. Uplink, in my opinion, is one of the better hacking simulators out there. I know there's been some new ones that I haven't played, but Uplink is the one that I always remember, and it felt like it just nailed. I think the best feature of Uplink is it felt like an open world hacking simulator. You weren't chained to the story of Uplink. You could literally just play through the tutorial and you could just keep hacking away, never even noticing the storyline that was there. And that was just fine, and it made it enjoyable. And of course, there's limits to how much randomness was in there, but they did a pretty good job at trying to give you a board of contracts that are randomly generated, so that you always had something to do. And a lot of times it'd be the same sort of thing, but because they have you hacking into all sorts of different companies, it made each contract feel a little bit unique. And I think that's what I enjoyed most about that, was just that open world feel, even though it was literally a game of UI menus. And the game is fairly dated. It was made in the early 2000s, so the UI wasn't even that advanced compared to today's UX design. That's what I want to focus on, is a hacking simulator, because it's going to largely rely on a user interface. It's not going to need lots of complex physics engines or player character models and that sort of thing. It's just going to be various UI elements that the user interacts with to progress the game. I figure if I am going to be able to do any art, it's probably going to be that sort of simple boxes and windows, that sort of thing. And then who knows, maybe working on this dev blog, I can connect with some artists which could contribute to the game. That'd be wonderful as well. kind of, if you can see my screen right now, up in the top left, it says Emergent in my Unity 3D here. That's kind of the code name I'm using for it right now. And I've even started some basic work on it, fleshing out some of the, using some of those skills I got from college for fleshing out and breaking down video games to try and reverse engineer what's required. And we're going to look at Uplink. I looked at Uplink and wrote down the various parts of the interfaces and just started to try and put those things together because I know we're going to need them for this kind of gameplay. And it's like one thing I'm pretty proud of. I know it's not much at all. I mean, I do a lot more complicated web development programming than this, but I do have a working clock that can be paused. I don't have any fast forward buttons, but it'd be pretty straightforward to fast forward it. So if you look here, we'll hit play and I'll see if my recording software will pick it up here. As you can see, it's a clock. So the clock's pretty important to the gameplay element of an open world hacking simulator because time needs to advance so that you can receive contracts with deadlines that you have to complete by a certain amount of time. Also for things like traces and story events, that sort of thing. All very critical to have some sort of a time system for keeping track of that. So this system will continue to progress through time and it'll update the day, the month, and the year, all as you would expect. And I've even started working on some of the buttons to modify the time speed, since you might have some circumstances where you'd want to advance time if you were waiting for something. But for now, I just did a pause button, so if you click on this, it'll actually pause the clock. So yeah, I not bad. So, pretty happy about that. It's not huge progress, but it's something. And as I said, I've been taking extensive notes for a while, so it's not gameplay, but that's important if you want to have an idea of what you're going to create. Because I know it varies from person to person, but personally I like to have an idea of where I'm going so that I can try and program and construct things in a logical way. Which if you just try and ad hoc it can get really messy, and that can even demotivate you to continue working. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that progress. We're going to continue down this line. I'll probably add some more buttons to the clock and try and build out more UI. I have been doing some research on some new interface systems that Unity has that I'm not familiar with for building out UI. So I think I'll definitely be investigating that more and seeing if I can leverage that to start doing some basic windowing work. So like windows that you can pop open, close, resize, that sort of thing. I think that might be a next step, is to get that sort of, scaffolding in place so that we can create windows, close windows, have buttons that when you click on them, it opens the window. If you don't want to completely close a window, then to minimize it, that sort of stuff. So for a look and feel for the game, I'm kind of visualizing right now an 80-esque to, maybe 90s, early 2000s feel to the game. It's probably going to have a lot of like 1980s pop synth vibes to the music is what I'm thinking. I know music's going to be extremely important. Just look at one of the successor or sequel, but another game, hacking simulator called Hacknet, more of a visual novel than an open world hacking game like Uplink. Still a fantastic game, excellent visuals and audio to that. That's what I want to bring to the Uplink gameplay of an open world hacking environment. So again, sound is going to be ultra important, I know. The buttons got to have good feels to them. The various cracks and other hacking techniques all need to have their own unique sounds to them to make them interesting. And then of course the music's going to be so important. It's got to really give lots of vibes, maybe even have some dynamicness to it, like in Hacknet, where depending on the situation you're in, the music will change. So if the authorities are getting close and you know it, then the music will probably get a lot more fast-paced and danger sounding. Yeah, Uplink and Hacknet would be two of the big games that I know that I've played and really enjoyed that I want to use as a spiritual guide for what Emergent might become. Definitely with the heavy focus on Uplink's open world hacking simulator, allowing the user to create a persona for your hacker. You know, are they the type just to sneak in, grab stuff, and get out, or are they the type to take destructive missions and just destroy, wipe out stuff? You know, maybe we can get some hacktivism in there as well. That's more of a story end of things, so I don't know about that when we'll get to that side of things. Yeah, you know, not too long of a video here, I think, just to try and keep it short until we got actually some decent content to share with you, besides my short little video here of this flock. I hope this video is enlightening to somebody and perhaps piques the interest of you. If you enjoy this content and want to see more of it, do subscribe. And I do have a Twitter account set up. I'm not using it heavily now, but I am trying to, you know, remember to start using that whenever I post a new video, to mention it there. And then going forward, I'd also like to, you know, take out tweets about the development of this prototype, and just, you know, move forward with things there so that I can have another way of connecting with my subscribers. But I think we're going to wrap things up, and yeah, I hope to see you guys on the next devlog. Bye bye.